right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the final part of the show, we're going to now get into talking about the injury that Trevor Lawrence suffered in the game against the Texans. And yeah, it was a vicious hit. Obviously, Al-Shaair apologized on social media, but no one really, or not a lot of people really believe his apology is being sincere. But yeah, it's just Trevor Lawrence was sliding for a first down, and he took a hit to the head, and his head slammed against the ground, and he was down for a while. So you feared the worst. Now he got up, they put him on the cart, and he did post something on social media, and he said he's doing better. So that's encouraging. But yeah, I mean he's dealing with injuries. I mean he had a shoulder injury that he was trying to overcome, and he comes back for this game because he hadn't played. Mac Jones had to step in once again, and then this ends up happening. So Al-Shaair was suspended 3 games by the NFL on Tuesday. He's appealing the suspension. The NFL isn't buying his nor his coach's excuse for the controversial hit that injured Trevor Lawrence. This is what was said: "Your lack of sportsmanship and respect for the game of football and all those who play, coach, and enjoy watching it is troubling and does not reflect the core values of the NFL." This is what the NFL VP of Football Operations, John Runyon, said in a statement. D'Amico Ryan said, "We stand behind Azeez and everything that came from that. Of course, the unfortunate hit on the quarterback, but it's also twofold. A lot of the quarterbacks in this day and age, they try to take advantage of the rule where they slide late and they try to get an extra yard." I understand that, but that it doesn't mean your player has to launch into him and cause a head injury right that. He said, "Unfortunate that Trevor got hurt. We hope Trevor is okay, but it's also, if we're sliding, we've got to get down. If we're getting out of bounds, we got to get out of bounds. The rule is there to protect the quarterbacks, and we want our quarterbacks to be safe in the league." And he was ejected from the game. There was a huge brawl. So, the Jaguars, they really don't have much to play for right now. It's been a very disappointing season for them, but they were protecting their quarterback in that situation. Al-Shaair was ejected from the game. Lawrence was immediately attended by the team's physicians while a brawl ensued as Jaguars players defended their franchise quarterback. The entire thing is Azeez hits the guy, but their sidelines overreacts and turns into a melee. I mean, look, it's your franchise guy. That's your quarterback, and you got to defend him, and that's what's going to happen. D'Amico Ryans also said, "It wasn't our guys. Their team overreacted, pushed our guy, dragging our guy to the sideline, so that's uncalled for on that side. We have to be better on the sideline." D'Amico Ryans also saying Al-Shaair is a great human being. Like I said, he issued an apology on social media. He said, "My goal is to hit you as hard as I can, then I pray you're still able to get up and play the next play. And when the game is over, go home to your family unharmed because it's not personal, it's just a competition," he said in a statement. I think he definitely could have worded that a little differently. Also, earlier this season, he threw a punch at Roschon Johnson, the running back for the Bears, and supposedly he appeared to swing his arm at Tom Brady's throat during a tackle attempt in 2022. So, not the first time that he's been involved in these kinds of situations. But, yeah, they were not happy about this. The Jaguars, of course, and they have every right to be upset. But like I said, thankfully, Trevor Lawrence is doing better. Posted on social media that he's fine. I believe that he posted on X. I wanted to see if I can find the statement from him. If I can pull it up. Yeah, so he said a day ago, "Thank you to everyone who has reached out and praying for me. I'm home and feeling better. It means a lot. Thank you all." So that's good to hear. But yeah, however you want to look at that hit, whether it was intentional or not, it was a nasty hit. And it's, it puts you in a tough spot because it's like, what can you do? Now, I know Rex Ryan I listened to his statement, and he said that quarterbacks should not slide when you got a guy coming directly at you. He said, like, in the open field, yeah, it makes sense, when there's no one around you. But when you got a guy coming at you and you're sliding, that's a recipe for disaster. And that's what happened on Sunday. So, guys got to be more careful. I don't think there's really any, like, clear way you can fix this and try to limit these kinds of injuries. But, obviously, head injuries happen a lot. But when you talk about this specific situation, it's not like you got quarterbacks sliding all the time and that leads to, a collision and their head slams against the ground. I know there was one time, I think back to, I think it was 2016, I want to say, Joe Flacco, that game against the Dolphins, when he slid and his head slammed against the ground. I forget who hit him. Might have been, was it Kiko Alonso? It might have been Kiko Alonso. I'm not sure, but that was a play I could relate this to. It's not like this has never happened, but we got to be better. And again, whether it was intentional or not, it was a vicious hit, and they got to try to figure that out. But yeah, I agree with Rex, though. If you're a quarterback and you're sliding, make sure that, you're sliding and you're not going to get hit. If you're in the open field and there's nobody around. But either way, this shouldn't have happened. And, the Jaguars, they hung in this game against the Texans, but, they came up a little bit short. I think that definitely fired them up a little bit, but the Texans just are the better team. And the Texans needed this game. They didn't really play that great. He had a big run by Joe Mixon, got held in check for the most part, but, he did have a big run. Did finish on the day with a decent stat line. But they get to 8-5. They're winning this division. They are winning this division. C.J.Stroud, 242 yards passing, a touchdown, no picks. Nico Collins had a very good game. Dalton Schultz had a good game. Tank Dell only had one catch. No sacks on the day by the Texans defense. And then for the Jaguars, Mac Jones, he went 20 of 32 for 235 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Trevor Lawrence, before he left the game, he went 4 for 10 for 41 yards, no touchdowns, and a pick. 46 yards on the ground by Travis Etienne. He's been a disappointment this year. He only has 371 yards rushing. Now, he's missed some time, but, yeah, he just really last year he was great. I just don't know what happened. Tank Bigsby at 28 yards on the ground. Parker Washington, 6 receptions for 103 yards and a touchdown. Brian Thomas Jr. had 4 receptions for 76 yards and a touchdown. Evan Ingram, 7 for 41. Jaguars defense, 2 sacks of C.J.Stroud. But, yeah, they fall to 2-10 on the season. Very disappointing year for them. I had them at 9 wins. I thought, last year was a fluke, but no, they're not a good football team. And, Trevor Lawrence has been a disappointment as well before the injury. So we'll see what kind of changes they go through. They've had some injuries as well. I think at this point, you probably shut Trevor Lawrence down for the rest of the year. That's probably what I would do. There's no point. These games are meaningless. If he wants to play, obviously, what are you going to tell him? No. But especially with this kind of injury, though, you want to be very careful, and I think they should be careful with that, and just let the season play out. Let him rest up, get healthy, and go at it next year. Because again, the concussion, it's not the only thing he is now dealing with. Shoulder injury that kept him out. I think you should, let him heal up. Sit out the rest of the year, and then come back next year and hope, things go better. But it's just been a disappointing year for them. It really has. You thought after 2022 that they were heading in the right direction. They got off to that good start last year, but it's just been it's been disappointing. It really has. And for the Texans, I said it before, I'm not really buying into them. They're going to win this division by default because the other teams are not very good. The Colts did pick up that win against the Patriots. Anthony Richardson has played well as of late. They still got an outside chance to make the playoffs, but, the Texans are going to lock this division up. It's over. But I really don't see them making a dent in the playoffs this year. I want to see C.J.Stroud play better, and he did play a little bit better in this game. They're going to have to rely on Joe Mixon. You got Nico Collins back, which is good, but I don't know, just something's off. They're not the same team from last year. And the Stephon Diggs injury hurts too, because he was playing well for them, and then he ended up getting hurt. So, but they get the win, though. They improved to 8-5. Like I said, they're going to win this division. And if they don't, then I just have a jinx with the AFC South. So that's pretty much it for the show for today. Let me know what you guys think about the game and the Trevor Lawrence situation. What were your takeaways from it? I appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate the comments from Anthony as always. Make sure to check out all the other shows as well. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the video. And as always, I'm your host, Kenneth Grunfelder, signing off from the GSMC Football Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Have a good day, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.